After the Whistle starts in Milton High School, where Hollidaysburg running back Mitchell Baroner floors a defender into the end zone after some serious contact. Let's slow that one down a bit. Wow, talk about setting the tone for Hollidaysburg. Let's see if they can keep that momentum. Hello, and welcome back to After the Whistle. It's the third week of playoffs, and our crews are just coming back from that game and more from all around central Pennsylvania. I'm Annika Wagner.
And I'm Owen Camaros. We'll bring you all those highlights and more, plus a look at Penn State football as they prepare to face Purdue this weekend. Stick around for all that and more right here on After the Whistle.
The Bedford Bison out of District 5 welcomes Steelton High Spire Steamrollers out of District 3. The first 19 minutes of the game were scoreless between the two until Quincy Swain breaks through all the way down to the 3-yard line, setting them up first and goal. So close yet so far. Play later, Swain runs it again, but this time into the end zone, followed by a made extra point, putting the Buffalo up 7-0 early in the game. After the touchdown, the Bison will add 3 to the board, nearing the end of the first half. Buffalo up 10-0. With 50 seconds left to go, Owen Horn on to kick. He's going to step up, and he drills the ball off the kneecaps of a steamroller player and into the arms of Christian Stallman for the weirdest onside kick you'll ever see.
He steamrolled a steamroller.
Absolutely. After that insanity, Swaim takes the snap, rolls out to his right, and while being pursued by defenders, he's going to toss one up for Gabe Taylor, who grabs it and runs all the way down to the 4-yard line before being pulled out of bounds. Swaim, to top off the half, has free reign into the end zone for 6, leaping into the air. The Bison would end the half leading 17-0 and get the job done, grounding out the game 24-15 over the Steamrollers. Bedford increases to 10-3 on the season to play on, while Steelton High Spire falls to 10-3 on the season, putting their season to an end.
The Richland Rams traveled to meet the Cambria Heights Highlanders at Mansion Park tonight, where one of these teams will be crowned the 2A District 6 champion. A cold night at Mansion Park as the Cambria Heights Highlanders take on the Richland Rams for the 2A District 6 championship. The game started out with a fumble by Cambria Heights that was recovered by Richland's Arnold Muggerwa, and that would lead to a quick touchdown for Richland. You can see it right here. That is a great throw and catch. Austin Yarnick making it 7-0. Going into the second quarter, the Highlanders would take their first touchdown off the back of a Luke Mulroney to make it 7-7. It would go back and forth with both Richland and Cambria Heights scoring once more before the half to make it a 14-14 game going into halftime. Going into the third quarter, Highlanders' Stephen Nellen scores a 59-yard touchdown. Look at the man run, giving the Highlanders their first lead of the game. Cambria Heights would keep that momentum and stay ahead for the rest of the game. Cambria Heights keeps on dancing, they're doing the boogie, and they have the 42-21 victory. The Highlanders are the District 6 2A champions as they stay undefeated at 13-0. This was Richland's final game of the season. It was an impressive season, but it ends with a 10-2 record. Nico Rodriguez was at Mansion Park tonight. Nico, the Rams had kept their last 4 opponents to less than 14 points. What changed tonight?
Yeah, that long Nealon touchdown really sparked the Highlander offense, and they were too much to handle in the second half. Let's take a look. The Cambria Heights Highlanders came into the 2A District Championship on a 12-game win streak. The team's undefeated record marked the best season since 2021. This is also the best season they've had under head coach Jared Lewis. In 2020, the Highlanders lost to Richland in the 2A Championship. Coach Lewis wondered if they would ever be back there.
Defense has been great all year, and just a different guy going every single time. That's what's making us tough all year. Different guys touching the ball, different guys making big plays.
Check out the scene behind me here at Mansion Park as all the family and friends are gathered around. You can tell this win clearly means a lot for the community.
We made a couple changes in the locker room, but we wanted to get right at them, get our ground game going, and that's what we did.
Cambria Heights came out of the locker room for the second half as a different team. The offense scored 4 times. Senior Trey Tribus, who found the end zone twice tonight, mentioned the halftime changes.
I give all the credit to the coaches. We're a second half team. We just make adjustments in the locker room, and then we come out and just do our job.
The Highlander defense held Richland to only 7 second half points. Cambria Heights will now enjoy the night as the journey continues at least another week. Cambria Heights moves on to the round of 4 and will take on Central Clarion after they blew out Farrell tonight 41-6. Back to you, Annika.
The Penn Cambria Panthers will play host to the Somerset Golden Eagles out of District 5 at Forest Hills High School. The last time these teams faced off was 2019, where the Golden Eagles came out on top. Welcome to G.H. Miller Memorial Field, where the Penn Cambria Panthers get ready to play the Somerset in the state playoffs. First quarter action began with a direct snap to receiver Gavin Harold, who takes it to his right, cutting past the defender and winning the 35-yard foot race to the end zone, 4-6, adding to the board with a 2-point conversion. In the second quarter now, Brady Jones hands it off to Mason Mento, who cuts left and goes almost untouched for 30 yards for the score, bringing it 14-0. Further along in the second quarter, Brady Jones uncorks one to Derek Height, who goes up and mosses on a defender, letting him know all about it.
That's a tough film session.
Absolutely pimping and flexing to the crowd, who is loving it. That mossing by Height would lead to this play where Gavin Harold ends the half the same way it started, with a direct snap for the TD. The Penn Cambria Panthers would go on to beat the Somerset Golden Eagles 40-0. Penn Cambria will continue their 2024 campaign against the Hickory Hornets, whereas the Somerset Golden Eagles will return home and rebuild for next season.
The Clearfield Bison came out of District 9 into this with a perfect record of 11-0. They host General McLean Lancers, who traveled all the way from Erie County. Let's see if the Lancers can pull off the upset. Bison and Lancers meet at halfway for the coin toss. Who will win tonight? Lancers started off the night strong, though. Their first drive of the game, General McLean's Jared Corwin scores a 10-yard rushing touchdown into the end zone untouched. Clearfield, though, they would quickly bounce back with 7:22 left in the first quarter. Carter Freeland rushes in from the 4-yard line, putting them on the board. All tied up, and the Clearfield cheer squad couldn't be happier. Beginning of the second quarter, General McLean's number 6 goes for 6 from the 6. It's a lot of 6s. Brendan Chamberlain makes it 20-7 due to the missed extra point. Right back at it, quarterback Xavier Curry hands off the ball to Brady Collins, who dodges not 1, not 2, but 3. He hit the trifecta of defenders to the house for a curtain call 60-yard touchdown. Nobody was going to catch him. The Clearfield Bison ended up winning in the final seconds as they blocked a potential game-winning field goal. The final score, 27-26 Clearfield, able to keep their undefeated season alive. They will face the winner of Thomas Jefferson versus McKeesport. General McLean's season comes up short. They finish with a record of 8-3. Now let's take a look at some previews of this weekend's Saturday matchups from all around the state. Bishop Guilfoyle will face off against Northern Cambria at Mansion Park this Saturday. The winner will play Westinghouse, who dominated over Wynberg.
Thomas Jefferson will match up against McKeesport Saturday at Norman High School. The winner will face Clearfield.
The Pittsburgh Central Catholic will meet at North Allegheny at Norwin High School. The winner will play State College after an impressive win over Williamsport.
The Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers make the nearly 2-hour drive to Milton High School to meet the red-hot Abington Heights Comets, who have won their last 5 games in a row with 3 shutouts. Abington Heights kicks off this playoff matchup. Jumping into the action, near the end of the first quarter, we see the Golden Tigers put the first points on the board off a 5-yard jet sweep to running back Mitchell Baroner. Touchdown, Tigers lead 7-0 with 10:49 left in the second quarter. Maddox Spading completes a 70-yard touchdown pass to Brady Steiners. The Golden Tigers keep it going 14-0. An explosive kick return from Hollidaysburg's Gavin Bell sets the Golden Tigers up at the 25, leading to a field goal and keeping it a 2-score game, 17-3 Golden Tigers.
Look at him run. He has the stiff arm, barely chased down. I thought he had the distance.
Too soon. 14 seconds left in the second quarter, and Abington gets their first touchdown after a prior touchdown was negated by penalty. Quarterback Sean Theodore, with an angry run, takes it in, 17-0, Hollidaysburg still leading. Abington Heights started to close the gap late in the second half, yet costly penalties and missed red zone opportunities resulted in Hollidaysburg winning 24-23, keeping their perfect season alive. Hollidaysburg advances to 13-0 on the year and are waiting for their playoff matchup to be announced, whilst Abington falls to 8-5, concluding their season.
The 9-2 Harrisburg Cougars faced off against the 9-1 Manheim Township Blue Streaks tonight at Manheim Township Stadium. Cougars getting a boost with the return of lineman and Penn State commit Kevin Brown, who's been out most of the year with injury. Harrisburg in the first quarter, they were up 7-0. However, as you'll see, the Blue Streaks answer as Carson Weiser looks for a diving Darius Dixon in the corner of the end zone. That evens the score to 7-7. The next drive, though, it would be Harrisburg's Jayon Lewis. He wants Elias Cody Koch. You're going to see on this throw here, it's an absolute heave. ECC making it look easy for the 42-yard pitch and catch as the Cougars are back on top, 14-7. To the second, Weiser with the quick pass to Lex Haber-Bosch, and he makes it just enough, gets barely to the pylon, and it's all knotted up at 14. The Blue Streaks will enjoy the replay of that one. We mentioned Brown earlier. The Penn State commit clears the way for fellow Nittany Lion, Messiah Mickens. He's in from 12 yards out. For the third straight year, man, that is tough. The Cougars end the Blue Streak season as Harrisburg wins it 35-14. The Harrisburg Cougars advance to 10-2 and will go on to play the Wilson High School Bulldogs in a neutral site next week.
The State High Little Lions are coming off a dominating win over McDowell last week, where head coach Matt Lentell recorded his 100th win. Tonight, they travel to Williamsport to face off against the Millionaires. Our reporter Andrew Matz was at the scene. Andrew, how's it going out there?
Thanks, Annika. Williamsport is the home of the Little League World Series, but tonight they hosted the 6A first round. The State High Little Lions made the hour drive down I-80 to play the Williamsport Millionaires. The Little Lions would start hot as it's none other than Ty Salazar taking the opening kickoff all the way down to the Millionaires' 22-yard line, giving State High great field position, making his presence known on special teams.
A lot of people overlook special teams, and it's a huge asset of the game. And as you've seen, we killed on special teams, and that absolutely destroys teams. So
Salazar would finish what he started and catch an opening touchdown, making the score 6-0 Little Lions. The Little Lions would be able to spread the ball around tonight as it's Hank Lustig who would catch a long touchdown from Eddie Corkery, just starting his big night. Early in the second quarter, it's Hank Lustig again picking up the punt and running through the defense, making men miss and taking it all the way to the house for 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's always important to play on all three levels of the game, and special teams very important, sometimes overlooked, but I think it's really important. So just making a big impact is pretty important to me. So
the Little Lions would go on to win the game in blowout fashion by a score of 75-14. Going into future games, Coach Matt Lentell says the team is taking it one game at a time.
Sometimes have nights like tonight, sometimes you're battling down to the wire, and either way, we just want to make sure we keep these seniors in pads.
State High season will continue next week in the state quarterfinals. For After the Whistle, I'm Andrew Matz. Back to you guys in the studio.
Oh, and we have seen some fantastic games tonight. Some blowouts, some close games. Nothing short of fantastic here for high school playoffs.
Annika, I've always wanted to see a punt or a kick return touchdown. I just saw it there. I finally have my moment.
I'm so happy for you. Stick around as we look at some out-of-town scores.
And later, a closer look at Penn State football's game upcoming against Purdue. Now let's take a look at all the playoff brackets in District 6. The Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders will face off against the Northern Cambria Colts tomorrow at noon. The winner of that game will play Westinghouse next week. The Bulldogs dominated Winbear tonight as the Couples at Couples Stadium in Pittsburgh, 53-6. In the 2A division, the Cambria Heights Highlanders will meet the Clarion Area Wildcats in the next round.
Penn Cambria dominated its 3A matchup. They'll take on the Hickory Hornets next week. Over to 4A, Clearfield beats General McLean tonight and will play the winner of the Thomas Jefferson McKeesport game tomorrow at noon.
Hollidaysburg squeaks by with a 1-point advantage and will face Roman Catholic in round 4. State College coasted past the Millionaires to play the winner of North Allegheny and Pittsburgh Central Catholic in the 6A bracket. Coming off a whiteout win, Penn State travels west to face the Purdue Boilermakers. Our reporter Chris Vadney was at Penn State's practice this week. He got a closer look at what to expect and tight end Tyler Warren's record-breaking season. Chris?
Thanks, Owen. Whiteout weekend has come to a close and Penn State is back on track with a 35-6 win against Washington. They travel to Purdue this weekend to take on the Boilermakers.
After last week's whiteout madness, the Nittany Lions are gearing up to face Purdue as they begin to close out their season. However, Coach James Franklin isn't relaxing anytime soon as he believes there is still much to improve.
The first thing is 4 quarters, being able to really put 4 quarters. We started out early in the year playing really good in the second half. Last week we played as good of a first half as I think we've played. We got to put it together for 4 quarters and be able to have a kind of a killer mindset.
Another hot topic for the Lions is Tyler Warren, who got high praise from both Franklin and Khalil Dinkins at practice this Wednesday.
He's just different sometimes when he comes to the plays like that. Play when we against USC when they made it over that safety. It's just like normal people can't do that, and I feel like he does that a lot. He does that in practice, and like for him, that was just like another Saturday for him.
Warren has gone on to break multiple records for Penn State, including most receiving yards in a single season by a tight end with 681. He has also tied the FBS record for receptions in a single game with 17 in Penn State's game against USC.
Tyler Warren, is like a case study in terms of media training for our freshmen. I mean, every time you guys interview him and you ask him questions about these awards and these records, he finds a way to redirect the question constantly back to his teammates or the program.
Penn State is currently ranked number 4 in the AP Top 25 poll and are on pace for an 11-1 finish to the season, where there's a high chance that Happy Valley could be home to a playoff game this year.
Penn State faces the Boilermakers this Saturday, looking to keep their 1-0 mentality in hopes of hosting their first home playoff game ever. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chris. A home playoff game here at Penn State would be crazy. Now let's take a look at our top 5 plays of the night. At number 5, it's Clearfield's Brady Collins taking the handoff, slicing through defenders, and zooming down the field for the 6. No one could catch him there.
And nobody could catch him there. Over to number 4, Bedford's Quincy Swaim rolls out of the pocket. He's getting chased, he's getting taken down, but he's still able to produce. Getting taken down by defenders, he's just going to lob that up to Gabe Taylor for the nice catch and run down the sideline. Nearly loses the football, but he was down first.
At number 3, Mitchell Baroner boomsticks a defender, looks down and takes it into the end zone, stumbling in for 6 for the Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers. We've heard his name quite a bit tonight.
At number 2, it's an onside kick from another Owen just like myself. Goes right off, you'll see it here. It goes right off a steamroller defender and back into the hands of Bedford. What a play, oh my word. I mean, that is just chaos. That is high school football chaos.
I mean, you might not see that in college or in the NFL, but in high school, anything goes. And finally, at number 1,
you'll see it in a moment. It is a great
Penn
play.
Cambria. Derek Height does his best flying squirrel impression, making a tremendous catch on the 20-yard line.
Stay down,
and
son.
Staring down. The crowd is loving it. Everyone's loving it from him tonight. But that's all from our District 6 football playoffs tonight. For more updates about our show and coverage of games, follow us on our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at ATWPSU. I'm Monica Wagner.
And I'm Owen Camaros. Tune in next week for more coverage of high school football and Penn State football, right here on After the Whistle.